Sweet Jesus, thank God. Thank you, Lord, for not naming this team after a fish. It's the Seattle Kraken. This has been my first choice ever since the Seattle NHL team has registered 13 names back in 2018 for what they were thinking about the name could be. And I couldn't be more thrilled. Oh my God. Now, before I could jump into this, if you want to see what the new team logos look like, the jerseys, the home and away, all that juicy fun stuff, including the video they released, you can look to my Twitter feed at Hockey Crash Test. I'll repeat that, at Hockey Crash Test. You'll see that in my description box down below. You can go see all that fun stuff there and revel in it. Spoiler alert, because I'm soon going to be talking about what I thought about the jersey colors and logo and everything. Now, let's jump back into those 13 team names they registered and why I like the Kraken the best. Starting with the Renegades. Yeah, that's how I felt about that. Then there was the Firebirds, Seattle Firebirds. There's already an OHL team named that. I didn't mind it. Actually, I also like the Thunderbirds, but there also is already a hockey team named that from the WHL, the Junior League, which also coincidentally happens to be based in Seattle. Then there's the Seattle Cougars, which I like the fact that it's a predator for sure, but it just doesn't sound right. Sounds just a little boring. The Seattle Totems. I kind of like this name to a certain degree, but seeing as how a lot of sports franchises are, moving away from this kind of imagery and names, Edmonton Eskimos are changing their name and so on and so forth, it probably wasn't the smart choice to make. The Seattle Eagles. There's already an NFL team named that. I do like it, though. The Seattle Whales, too close to the Whalers. Probably my favorite logo that was in the NHL anyways. But the Whales, they made the Whalers look cool, but still. Then there's the Seattle Sockeyes. I know this was a very popular one, and I apologize to all of you who like it. I kind of hated it. Yeah, well, maybe hate's a strong word. I know back in 2018 there was a poll done in Seattle, and this came up as number 1 from this list. I don't like naming teams after like a fish or something that can be predated upon, I love names. I love like fierce sounding names, like a predator's name or something regal or something battle tested, or weaponry, something like that, something that would inspire fear into the enemy, so to speak. And I don't see the Sockeyes doing that. I saw some mock-up jerseys done, and they looked really cool. You can obviously Google that. But maybe for a junior team of sort, I can sure, no problem, beer league team, but a professional hockey team. And I know there's names like the Penguins and the Ducks, which I'm not crazy about either. I mean, they kind of grow on me somewhat over the years. And then there's my favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. If they didn't exist today, and they named them the Toronto Maple Leafs, I'd be like, what? I wouldn't like the team name, but I grew up watching them, so it's a bit of a different story. Anyway, moving on. The Seattle Sea Lions. They get eaten by orcas, and they just don't sound that fierce at all. Seattle Emeralds. Yeah, I get it. The whole green concept with the city makes sense, but naming your team after the woods or like a hard rock, one of the hardest rocks in the world. I don't know. It just doesn't boring. Seattle Seals. There was already an NHL team named this, and yeah, I would get the jersey, the hat, and the merchandise and stuff, but I would never name a team like that, and I kind of hated the name when I heard it too. The Evergreens, same sort of thing. And I understand, because the green and the woods and the forest. But why not name them the Seattle Woods or the Seattle Forest? That's how it sounds to me. It just sounds, oh, wow. Anyway, and then finally here, there's the Rainers, which I actually really liked. If they didn't name them the Kraken, this would have been my second choice. Of course, people who don't know anything about Washington or Mount Rainier, which is a volcano there, one of the most dangerous in the world. Everyone can make fun of anything, really, because it rains all the time in Washington, blah, 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 blah. No, and I could have seen the imagery for this as a volcano look really cool on a jersey. And I wouldn't doubt that some team out there in the Washington area the next professional or junior team would go after this, because I think it would be a really smart choice from a merchandising perspective as well, especially. And then the Seattle Kraken, I'll be the devil's advocate first off, and you can make fun of this in so many ways, right? The butt cracks coming to town, or the crack pipes, are here to play, hit that pipe and get your crack. I mean, there's, it's just, you can do that with a lot of stuff. But the positive side is that even though it's a mythical beast, and I don't see why there aren't more of that in the NHL. If the Red Wings weren't the Red Wings, I'd be calling them, I think the Detroit Dragons would be a really cool name. Why not name them after, mythical, angry, predatorial-like mythical beasts? I think unicorns, it doesn't fall in that category, it's a little much. But you know what I mean. And the fact that, is kind of named after a movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, which, by the way, the Kraken I loved as part of that movie. And it was at number 3 when the movie starts and there's a dead Kraken on the beach. Oops, spoiler alert. I was so upset with that. I was like, you just killed off one of the most amazing beast / characters right off the bat, and you were so cavalier about it. That movie made me angry from the get-go. But the Kraken is supposed to be this indomitable, giant, squid-like creature that just devours everything in its path, including orcas. My Vancouver friends will like that poke. But you see what I mean, and the marketing the merchandising is just limitless on this thing. And speaking of which, the colors they use for the jerseys kind of range in the deep, dark ocean blue area to sort of light blue in between. And the main logo is again, spoiler alert. If you want to see more, go to my Twitter account @HockeyCrashTest. But the main logo is an S with a tentacle in it that goes all the way through it with a red eye in the corner, which looks so cool. And apparently one of the owners kind of added that to the logo. It didn't exist before they finally finished it. It just looks like this deep, dark, evil stare like I'm going to devour you. And they also added that red into a part of the trim on the jersey, around the neckline, and I want to say around the waist and the cuffs, just a slight hint of it. And it looks really, really nice. And there's basically 3 logos. There's the one I just mentioned. There's the name, the Seattle Kraken, which looks cool too. I like the font, has this kind of haunted house kind of feeling to it. And then the secondary logo is an anchor, but it's not just an anchor. The top of the anchor is formed into a hint of the Space Needle in Seattle, which I thought was debonair, was a strike of genius. It just looks terrific. I can't wait to get my first t-shirt / jersey. Speaking of which, you can go to releasethekrakenstore.com. They have some merchandise up there. It's expensive though. Oh my god. A polo shirt is like $75. Wow. A unisex / men's t-shirt is $40. Oh. I mean, here I live in Canada. If I go to my Hockey Life store, some of the hockey shirts like this one will run you $35-ish plus tax. And I thought that was expensive. This is $40 American. Yikes. Plus tax, I imagine. In any case, none of the logos on any of the clothing or any of the other merchandise is actually just the logo. It's the logo incorporated with a phrase that says "Release the Kraken," which I really like. You know, when they hit the ice, "Release the Kraken," and the players come out of this, big tentacled creature with teeth and kind of sort of like the way the San Jose Sharks do it. So I think that'll be nice and everything. But they don't have anything with just the S logo on it, which is one of the t-shirts I'll be getting as soon as they come out. In any case, I've gone on long enough about this. I would love to hear what you think about this name down in the comment section below, amongst other things. Maybe what name you were hoping it would be. Again, I apologize. I don't like the Sockeyes, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And like and subscribe. And in this crazy world we're living in right now, first and foremost, please be kind to each other. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon.